if you have a large network, you know a lot of people, and these people think highly of you, they're going to tell other people about you. And those people will tell more people about you. So it's going to compound. So number one, it's a lifetime investment. And number two, compounding is critical. If you want to build your network, it's got to compound. So that means you have to do things for these people. You can't just let your network die. It's why at times we've helped certain people who we think are good long-term prospects find people. Steve has worked with a number of times with prospects who I'd say, oh yeah, we can help you. I'd say, do you know somebody that you could refer to us, you know, or other things, sending people certain books or articles or doing certain research or all of these kinds of favors, or linking them with people where they, you know, I had a guy call me the other day who was the corporate PR director of a large law firm. And I always thought this guy was very sharp, but it was clear to me that they were not going to use an outside firm. And I still don't think they will, but I haven't heard from this guy in like 7 years. I really kept him on my mailing list, but I really decided that he was probably not a prospect. And I got a call from him the other day, and he said to me, Ken, we have a need for a PR firm in Moscow. Do you have anybody you could recommend? I said, well, in fact, I do. I said, because we have a former Moscow member of our iPrex group. And so I gave him that information, and the next thing he did was he sent me an email and said, thanks a lot, I really appreciated your help. How about our getting together for a cup of coffee? Now, he may want a job, there's a million things he may want. I don't know. But the fact is that it created a network. I was on the phone talking to somebody else the other day who said, well, you came in second, but I really appreciate your call because I'd like to stay in touch with you. One of the things, not only was I impressed with your firm, but he said these strategies newsletters that you send out, he said they're terrific. He said, I have gotten such great ideas out of them. He said, I keep a file on them. He said, so yeah, he said, we're happy today with our firm. Give me a call in 3 or 4 months. So while we see these strategies lying out there flat, they go out to thousands of people. So all of these things are ways of trying to rainmake, ultimately, through building stature. Now, I wanted you to take a look at this. Here. How do networks grow? Okay, so you're introducing people to each other. How many matches can you make when you know 2 people, 3 people, 4, 5, 50, 100 people? All they're saying is that by your introducing people to people, you are doing something for other people that ultimately you will get a favor trade from, potentially. And even though the odds are low, some will sift through. So if you look at this little chart here, this is the chart, and it shows how matches grow exponentially. Maybe you can look on with somebody over there, Danielle. So essentially it shows here that if you know 2 people, you can make 1 match, 3 people, 3 matches, 4 people, 6 matches, 5 people, 10 matches, and 6 people, 15 matches. And again, it's just showing if you keep your network tiny, your odds are going to be lower. If you expand your network, your odds are going to be higher. So if you go to the next slide, I call this slide, it's a long-term approach. Networks grow geometrically. That's why it takes time before you see results, and why some people give up too soon. That is the main reason, and I said it before, why most people don't bring in business. they give up too soon. So what this is just trying to show here is that the green line is what people expect is going to happen. They're going to start and they're going to go straight up. And the reality is that the real truth is that the real thing that happens is the red line. That is really, the green line is the expectation, the red line is reality. That in the early years, because this is the network size down here, the size of your network, and this is the possible matches that you can make. And so it shows in the early years of your networking that your return is very low. But if you hang in there, ultimately, your return in the later years is fantastic. Whereas most people, they drop out. It's like hanging in there, you know, with a blue chip stock. I think frankly, I think the odds are better than blue chip stocks, but a lot of times, because the thing is your network doesn't really go away. It doesn't go down. It keeps multiplying even in recessions. And the key is to be on the red line. And I would say here, right here is where the dropout rate starts coming. It's in that area. People get a network size of 60 to 80 and they start. It's got to go much higher than that in order for it to work for you. And as you get positions on different boards and different links and so forth, that's why sometimes I think it's a good idea to even be on a board that may not be, you may not have to love the idea of what that board does, but that board has a lot of the right people on it. So it's going to help you in your relationships with those people. So it's cumulative. This one, I mean, it's just reinforcing. You have to roll many times to win a few, and if you roll enough times, your chances of winning become high. You have to just keep rolling the die. Okay, networks grow one person at a time. He would call 3 groups of people. First, he had a list of everyone he ever met on an engagement. Okay, that's an interesting, I thought that was interesting because a lot of times when we get involved with major clients, we can meet lots of people with those large companies. There can be sometimes 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 people with in some client. I'm not talking about small companies, but larger companies. You can meet a lot of people. And he would keep track of all these people. I think, I'm thinking of certain clients here where we have worked with, this client's not here, but I bet on American Management Systems we worked with 25 different people.
And I've tried.
Yeah. He would work through this list alphabetically. Second, he would call people he met at the many speeches he gave, or make cold calls trying to get a relationship started. Third, he would call people he was referred to by clients. He, in fact, would ask clients for referrals. That's another thing that really does work. There's been 2 sources that I've used. One is asking editors that I've worked with for clients that has produced, and I would say that when I was in my first year in public relations, I produced a client through an editor, and I got commission on that business, and it was like found money. And I have also asked clients, not on day one, we're clients we have a good relationship. Do they have any ideas for prospects that we might talk to? And a lot of people are very shy about asking clients, but they're a very good source. If you have a good relationship with that client, there is absolutely not a reason in the world why you can't raise it. We covered that phrase, but here is the other thing that I thought was important here. The blocking, calling in, what this guy does, and this is a technique, is you set quotas for yourself.